What is going on, everybody? So today we are going to a pond, one that we've been servicing for quite some time. We just kind of hit like a roadblock, and I kind of need some inspiration to kind of make this pond a little bit more fun, a little bit more lively. Would love to hear some suggestions from you guys. Mostly specialize in saltwater tanks, but we do a couple of ponds, and the pond I'm gonna show you guys in a second, it just needs more excitement in it. And it's in the middle of a busy area. A lot of people view it, so I wanna make it really nice. Before we do that, I just wanted to show you some amazing fish that we got in here at the store. We have some striped blennies right here. These guys are awesome. They're an aquacultured fish, which means they are bred in captivity. And just look at the beautiful yellow heads on these guys. A nice black and white striped body. Because they're aquaculture, they are pretty hardy. They do very well in most aquariums. Reef safe, yes, reef safe, but they will kill some snails for the simple fact that they like to eat the snails and live in their shells, which is kind of cool. They pair well with most fish for the simple fact that they are venomous. So they can defend themselves very well with a little bite. They can, any fish that tries to pick on them will definitely think twice. And then we have this grumpy little fellow over here, the flame hawk fish, which is one of my favorite fish of all time. I have yet to keep this fish. I really want to keep one, but look at that. It's like a little bulldog. I love that. I love that red color on them. These guys are such a cool little hawk fish. And then the tank with them is that Pakistani butterfly fish over there, not reef safe, but does a great job at eating Aiptasia, and is a good tank mate for you know, if you're just gonna do a fish only style aquarium. Then over in this tank we have some bar gobies. These guys are pretty cool. They are jumpers, but I just love the way that they got that long slender body, and if you look closely at them, they have like almost like Miami Vice colors. They have that blue with that pink. You can see that, it's really pretty. Docile fish, doesn't mess with anybody, great community fish, and I just love the look to them. They just look a little bit different, and just add a little bit of different texture to your aquarium. And then we have a snowflake eel here. This little buddy will be going to a customer's tank relatively soon. Actually tomorrow I'll be putting him in a customer's tank, which is really exciting. But look at this little guy. Eels are so cool, especially when they're this little. They move around a lot. When they get bigger, they tend to not move around as much in my experience. But this guy is active. Look at him, he's hungry. He's out checking out the scene, looking for some type of crab or some type of crustacean or shrimp to eat. So cool. Speaking of aquacultured fish, we have these canary blennies, these little babies right here. With their fat bellies they just ate. This is another venomous fish, just like the striped blenny that we saw before. These guys are also aquacultured from the same facility, and we cannot keep these little guys in stock. People love them. They do great in aquariums. They get a relatively good size. I think they're about 5-6 inches or something like that. Long, slender body. That yellow really stands out in an aquarium. I love that forked tail right there. That's a really cool fish. And then over to the right here, we have a lemon peel angel. Saltwater fish, there's just so many different variations in color. That's what makes saltwater, you know, having a saltwater tank so appealing. And speaking of aquacultured fish, the yellow tang. We got some baby yellow tangs in stock, a bunch of these guys. Another fish that we can't keep here at the shop. People love these guys. As soon as they come in, they go out. We keep them here, they go through their quarantine, and then we get them out as soon as we possibly can. But they have been doing great for us. They've been eating really well. They've come in at good weight, and this is probably the best yellow that I've seen with these aquaculture yellow tanks, because usually they come in a little bit pale. These guys look amazing. The color on them is just like you would see in a wild specimen. Really bright yellow color, and like I said, like people love these guys, and especially having such a small little yellow tank, being able to start with a smaller fish, because they do get pretty big. People just love these. We cannot keep them in stock. And then lastly, we got some big old clams here at the shop, which we haven't had clams in a while. Great addition to an aquarium, reef aquarium, mixed reef. I think a lot of people focus on corals. There's tons of other things that you can put in your reef aquarium that aren't just corals. A lot of cool little things like sponges and clams and other types of inverts that add just as much character and life to your tank and interest to your tank than just corals. So I do have some saltwater aquariums that I will be servicing today, but I'm kind of excited about going to the pond because it switches it up so it's not just so monotonous. So I'm gonna pack up the truck and I'll see you guys at the pond. All right, so here we are at the pond, and it's in this little open air shopping center, a bunch of offices, restaurants, and things like that. So this is kind of one of the main focal points in the courtyard area where kind of there's a fountain here where people eat lunch and things like that. So I kind of want to make this pond, we kind of want to make this pond really special and have this pond really stand out. So we got the lilies growing really nice. You see there's a flower blooming right there. We have some bamboo growing, and just a bunch of different types of aquatic plants. So it's looking really, really good. The main problem with this pond is that originally it didn't have a filter on it. So you just basically have this area right here with kind of just standing water. You had to install a filter, which is over here, Oazi. And this is a UV sterilizer as well. And I'm about to do a water change on the filter right now. We have a couple of koi fish in here. They're hiding under there right now, but you can see the water is pretty dark. You can barely see in there, especially with the light reflecting off. It's hard to see down below. But this is a really good sized pond. It's not that deep. It's a couple of feet deep, nothing too crazy, but it's pretty good size. And you know, obviously it goes underneath this bridge right here, which is kind of cool because you can kind of walk over this and you can take a better look at the pond from either side. And there we have another koi fish swimming over there, a white one. I think there's a total of only 3 of them in here. And then, but yeah, it's pretty mucky right now. Now, as far as the substrate here, there's just gravel. There's no sand or anything like that. All the brown stuff that you see is just either algae or decaying plant matter, which is kind of creating its own substrate. But we just kind of have some rocks here, some pebbles here, and we just kind of stir that up and suck up all that dead organic matter. And the plants have done a really good job keeping the pond clean. And adding the flow to here, and then there's some more flow over here, has also helped the pond not become so stagnant. So basically when I come here, I just get all the dead organic matter out of the pond, check on the fish, make sure they all look good, and clean out this filter, which I'm about to do in a second. But what I needed your guys' help with was, you can see we got another koi fish there, 1, 2, 3 so far that I've seen. What I need your help with here is, what fish do we put in this pond? We have a good sized pond here. We have a couple of koi fish in here. There's some mollies or something like that that's also in here. But what do you guys think we should put in this pond? What do you think would work? Now we are based out of South Florida. We are in the Palm Beach County area. It gets pretty hot here in the summer, as anybody's been to Florida knows. Our winters aren't too bad, but it can get down to 40s. But it's in short bursts. It's not incredibly long. There is no heater on this pond, and I don't foresee us installing one. So it's gonna have to be a fish that's gonna be able to kind of take a wide range of temperatures, so very hot temperatures and very cold temperatures. That's why you see the koi here, because you know, the carp are really good at dealing with different types of temperature swings. Now, when we're talking about fish, I don't want anything too aggressive. I don't want anything that's gonna bother the koi. I don't want anything that's gonna be, you know, anything that's gonna be too temperamental. I want a nice community fish that will do well on a pond. Now, I'm doing a water change right now. I want to show you guys just how dark this pond water gets. I do a significant water change here on this pond as well. Check this out. Look at that, how dirty that is. That's how dirty the pond water is. Now, this would be great if you have a garden. I'd love to save this water, and it's really good for your plants. Seems a shame to kind of waste it, but yeah, that's really dirty. So as I'm doing that water change, I'm taking this hose right here and I'm just kind of pouring in, but I'm kind of going throughout the whole tank, just kind of stirring up, getting that muck all out into the water column, getting it sucked out through the filter and dumped out into the, and getting it dumped out. We want to do a nice water change on this today. We want to stir up as much as this nasty sediment as possible and get it out of the tank the best we can. And then I'll be adding some dechlorinator to the pond as well. And now there's not that much of a bioload in this tank. There's just like, I think 3 or 4 big koi fish in here, and then the rest are just kind of like little small mollies or whatever. But I still like, we come here once every 2 weeks. I still like, you know, to do a big water change just to kind of get some of this dead organic matter out of the pond. And you can see there's just like a bunch of like random leaves and stuff like that that I gotta get out as well. All right, so that's it. That's all I have for you guys for today. Let me know what you think of the pond. How can we make this thing really kind of like stand out and make it like, you know, a nice little community pond for the people that are shopping here? I love any advice or any opinion you guys have. Please leave it in the comment. I appreciate, you know, everything you guys can add to this. But in the meantime, I'm gonna finish here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice one.